Hi, this is Larry Christensen. I'm bringing you another great sparkling attacking gem from the Russian Super Final. This is played in a game between Grandmaster Timofeyev and Grandmaster Vityugov, and shows a black exploiting a overextended and crippled white kingside formation. Let's check it out. Okay, this game starts as a Najdorf. White plays the very modest G3 variation, the fianchetto. Not too popular these days, and maybe this game will explain why. Now, black simply getting his pieces out. He's got that nice compact formation, play on both sides of the board. Right now, white's E4 pawn's a bit of a target. Of course, white is trying to exploit those squares, notably the D5 square, but not easy to exploit. He plays H3. That's the prelude to a kingside advance, but we'll see soon whether that works out or not. He continues his advance, G4. Black develops actively, Rook C8, Knight C3, and now black puts some pressure on E4, and here white plays G5. This does not look like the way to go, but on the other hand, black is ready to play Knight E6 anyway here, and those squares D4 and F4 come under black's control. I just think this line is probably headed for that dustbin of discarded opening lines. After G5, now this white's kingside has been corrupted by this impetuous advance. Now suddenly G5 is under attack. Timofeyev supports it, of course, with the H4. And given one move, if he gets F4, and he's got a great game. He should have tried maybe F4 at this moment. Why he didn't is beyond me. He plays instead the solid developing move, but that basically forces black to play the excellent Knight E6 move. I think he had to play F4 here. And if he takes F4, bishop takes F4, Knight E5. Now, black has a perfectly good game here, but he's a long way from winning. Chances for both sides. Probably black's easier to play black. But he plays bishop E3. This is one time where solid development is not to be recommended. Black now maneuvers the knight to the phenomenal E6 square. Now white's just in bad shape. And he makes matters worse by abandoning that long diagonal with bishop H3. He was attracted by potential pressure on that rook on C8. But again, he's also abandoning the white king to some extent. Black takes immediate advantage. Knight F4, excellent move. Possibly white should have considered bishop G4 here, because black here has a nice game, no question about it. He can advance the rook. Rook C4 looks tempting, among other moves. But instead he chose decisive mistake, no question. Bishop takes F4, that was a loser. Black takes on F4, Knight E2. Now watch what happens to white's position here. Black plays F3. So, very disagreeable choices here for white. Knight G3 appears to be the most logical, but at least covering up to the king side to some extent. However, after Knight G3, black would have many interesting options here. For instance, Knight E5 makes sense, offering the exchange, threatening to come into H3. White's, I don't see a defense here. That awesome knight on E5 is murder. And here comes Queen G4. It's a nightmare. So white actually cannot take that on the rook, and he's got a crummy game. But at least it's better than Knight D4, and that leaves him wide open.